at Radio Free America. This is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. Come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, and we talk about guns for an hour. So just had a question from Tim over on the Gun Channel side. We finish the spam cam patch yesterday? We did. So we're going to head over to gun websites here and open up a couple of videos. This is this day in gun history.
Good morning. It is June 26th, and we're taking another look over at guncalendars.com, where we track interesting Second Amendment and firearms history. And today we have a couple of things to talk about, a couple of ongoing events. Well, an ongoing event. It's the 2019 National Championships for the 4-H shooting sports. That's going on in the Grand Island, Nebraska, and congratulations to everybody who's participating, and especially those that are excelling up there this week. It'll be going on until Friday. We also have a couple of anniversaries. It's the anniversary of the National Firearms Act of 1934, the act which defined which firearms are short, which firearms are shoot too quickly, which ones have too large a diameter of the bore, and started to restrict, register, and tax those firearms. So let's never forget, let's repeal this thing. We lived for 160, 70 years without it. We've only lived for less than 100 with it. So focus on it, never forget. Anniversary of that thing. It's also the anniversary of the Heller decision. So June 26th is the date that the Supreme Court came down with their ruling on Heller versus Washington, D.C., and the concept that the Second Amendment does protect an individual right to own firearms. Unfortunately, like many things, was not perfect. It didn't talk about where you can own those firearms, but it is an important case, and the reason that we have the guncalendars.com, so we don't forget the history that brought us to today. So a couple of things to talk about. On June 26th, also the date that Ben Franklin became our first Postmaster General in 1775. I want to thank our Patreons who give us the time to put into projects like these and to share them with you on a regular basis. Let us know in the comments what you think, and as always, thanks for watching.
All right, so that was the gun calendars thing today, and then we did also have a chance to put together a video to chop up the pieces from last night.
We're in the midst of our Clash Patch batch, and last night we drew up the second patch, and that's going to be another patch in our Spam Can lid collection. So we went live on the Daily Gun Show, and I was there by myself for a while, so I was listening to the Riding Shotgun with Charlie podcast. He had Jared on with Guns and Gadgets. It was an interesting podcast. I listened to the end of that until people joined me on the show, and I took some of the photographs that I'd taken of the Spam Can lids in my collection and got started with the drawing. The Spam Can series started back with the 545 by 39 can that you saw there, the embroidered one. We had originally started out using patch suppliers, middlemen, and they weren't creative or ambitious, and they weren't able to do the Spam Can in a real true-to-life look. And we tried that again with a woven patch, which is sort of like the patch on, or the thing on the back of a shirt or something that has the washing directions. And while that gave us more detail, it was a kind of a flimsy patch, and it's not a typical patch. So I don't know, it has its value, but it wasn't what we were looking for. So eventually we ended up doing the three patches, the three spam cans in 762 by 39, in 762 by 54R, and in 545 by 39 in PVC. And those are with our current supplier. Now we go straight to a manufacturer and we're able to get the detail and the quality that we're looking for. And it's time to do another patch in the series. So we're doing a collage patch batch, and we drew up the first patch yesterday. It's going to be, it might be the largest AK-47 patch, at least in PVC, that's out there. I'm not sure. So we're trying to go for a big one. I don't know if we found one that's bigger than, or we're making one that's going to be bigger than others or not, but we did a little looking, and it looks like it might be, at least currently available, the largest AK-47 PVC patch. That'll be our first patch, and then the second patch is this spam can. So going along with our series, we wanted to make a spam can. The theory with the spam cans is to be a gun patch, but without being in your face. So this is something you could wear on a hat, have on a bag, and other gun owners are probably going to know what it is, especially Soviet firearms collectors or shooters, or and people are interested in that. But other people might not realize what it is. It could just be about anything. So we like the spam cans, and we've done them with Bulgarian cans and Russian cans and others. And this time we're going to do a Hungarian can. So it's a Hungarian 762 by 54R military can. And I'm not even sure, it just looks real cool. I like the colors and the stenciling on it. But I haven't looked it up yet. I haven't researched what the projectiles are. And well, I can see that's probably made in 1970. Well, it's hard to say. We'll see when it zooms out again here. But it's a Hungarian can of 762 by 54R. And again, it has a neat color pattern and some neat stencils. And it'll be similar but different than our other spam cans that we've had in the past. So we've got the art finalized. We did that during the Daily Gun Show. We ran a long show last night. Ended up a bunch of people jumped in, and we talked about the SHOT Show attendee academy that's going on right now in Las Vegas. Bishop Ammunition is there attending it, and they joined us live and gave us some insight as to their second year of the academy and their first year getting a full booth at SHOT Show. I think they had the pop-up booths last year, so or the year before. And we chatted quite a bit about SHOT Show and the experience of being a vendor and the kind of behind the scenes at SHOT Show while we drew the patch out live. And this is the sped up version. I speeded up about 1,500 times. So that couple of hours turns into, 4 minutes or so of video here. And then I added some layers with some of the pictures of the other patches that we've done, like this one from the Spam Can series, and narrated it. And I compiled this all up in the Adobe Premiere, which is a video editing software, and then rendered it and posted it up on the platforms for you to check out. So this is everything we do on the projects are to be transparent and inspire people to be part of this whole thing. We try to do these things live so that they can be experienced and people can see the use of the tools and the process to develop a project of your own, hopefully Second Amendment related, but please value your voice. If you're interested in our project, please feel free to participate, and if you can, share the project. You never know who's going to be interested in the largest PVC AK-47 patch made yet, and two other patches, the Spam Can and another humorous patch that we'll probably draw up later this week. Thanks for joining us. Leave us some comments. Until next time, thanks for watching.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.
I think it's probably trying to go to the next one here, which is
The next featured patch from the 2A patch batch, a set of 12 patches that 262 people made possible. It allowed each of these 12 2A content creators or Second Amendment content creators to get 100 of their own patches. And this one's Clover Tax. Clover is a content creator. He's a podcaster. He's an influencer. He holds many hats as far as content creation, but he's also very active in collaboration and encouragement and education. Every week he holds a show to give people some insight to the nuts and bolts, to the skill sets required to create content, so that that becomes less of a burden and more of a skill set that we master. It was a pleasure to have Clover on board. This patch was to be announced. No one knew what it was going to be until they received it in the mail. Thanks to everyone who kept that secret, who knew about it ahead of time. And thanks to Clover for pushing the envelope, giving us a patch that was a challenge, both in size and scope, and for doing one that complements our lever action rifle. So in many ways, this was a neat patch to have in the group. So there was 13 pounds of them, as you see there, a very large patch. Clover has 100 of those. If you're interested in obtaining one, check out Clover Tech's presence on the internet. Thanks everyone for your participation in the 2A patch. Let us know in the comments what you think. Stay tuned for more. And as always, thanks for watching.
The guys and gals at gunwebsite.com.
And then we also had a video up from the NRA show. We talked about, what did we talk about? We are the gun lobby.
Of a 2-hour conversation that took place in June of 2019 after the NRA national meetings. A conversation about NRA with Mac from Military Arms Channel, Jeff Knox from Firearms Coalition, Rob Pincus from ICE and 2AO, Sean from We Like Shooting, and Jared from Guns and Gadgets. Together, we talked about the current state of the NRA, where it's going, and what we can do. Links to each of the participants and the full 2-hour conversation are available below.
And if I could jump in on that too, just some comments over on the YouTube channel. The NRA has made this whole thing a whole lot more complicated than it really is. All of the infrastructure and everything, look at your state organizations. How are your state organizations that are the most effective, how do they work? Well, to begin with, most of them have one paid guy who goes up on the Hill and talks to your legislators. But when he needs something, he sends out an email to 9 or 20 or 50,000 people, and a bunch of them react and send emails back to the legislature, and that's what wins the battle. All of this other infrastructure stuff, most of it is just to make more money so they can make more money, not about winning the fight. And that's something that people need to keep in mind. We are the gun lobby. We the individuals. And if NRA was to go away today, unfortunately, it would be replaced by the most effective marketing company out there. So you would have Nagger or someone like them, people who are really good at the Crying Wolf fundraising letters, would be out there trying to suck up the money that NRA isn't sucking up anymore. And unfortunately, that's the direction it's always going to go. It's just like these socialists who want to change the government. Guess what? If you got rid of our government, the same scumbags would come in. The same people who run the corporations that they hate, the same people who run the government that they hate, are going to be the same type of people who are going to come in and run the new government or the new NRA or the new whatever, because it's all about bilking people out of money is much more efficient and effective than just doing the job.
So this is a portion of a 2-hour.
Another piece there. And, I don't know, been getting kind of back and forth feedback on whether or not people are interested in seeing those parts, but since some of those relevant pieces are, harder to find in the big one, I figured I'd keep posting them. All right, well, with that, we've got 22 backers on the project. We've got 11 days to go. So if you have already backed it, thank you. And if you're interested in helping share it, appreciate that. That's how these projects work. You never know who's going to be interested in getting one of the largest, if not the largest, PBC patch, AK-47 patch made yet. Got people joining us on the Gun Channel side, howdy, and then people joining us on the YouTube side. I guess I put it over here. So nobody joined in tonight, though, so I guess we'll run it that'll be the show. Thanks everybody for joining up or for showing up, and we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday, so there's lots of stuff going on. The presidential debates were tonight, so you watch those. There was some talk about guns in there. Only one of many topics. Tomorrow they'll have another 10 potential candidates show up for a debate. Yankee is having some sort of a big show tomorrow with an invite out to any quote-unquote big channel out there. So he's going to have more than just Matt and I on his show tomorrow. That should be interesting. Sarge, I don't know if it's Sarge Obnoxious tomorrow. They usually have a show. And who else am I missing? Somebody else has a show on Thursday. And then Clover will have his show. Does Budget have a show on Thursdays now? Oh, Travis, I'm missing Caliber Corner on Thursdays, I think. So anybody who's got a show on Thursdays and it's not in the calendar, let us know over on Gun Channel so we can get them into the calendar there. In the morning, early watch will start out the day. Thanks, Dead Horse, for hosting those. Usually hosts a live lobby chat after that. So if you'd like to chat about guns throughout the day, head over to gunchannels.com. We'll be back here tomorrow. And this Friday, we've got a chat battle. So before Gary's show on Friday, which will be, I think, 8 o'clock Eastern, we'll have a chat battle. People that show up will vote on a bunch of questions, Family Feud style. We'll choose teams, dodgeball style. We'll grab a couple of captains, and then they'll choose teams. Once we have 2 full chats, we will start a chat battle, gun history, gun trivia, and it will not be easy. You'll have a whole chat room of people to fight with. So hopefully that'll be a fun way to develop some sort of continuation of the tactical quiz, and hopefully have some fun with these hangouts while we still have them. So if you're interested in attending a new fun way to play with gun history and the tactical quiz, let's see you Friday. Well, we'll see you Friday. Thanks everybody for showing up, and we'll probably leave the room open on Gun Channels. So if you want to chat off air.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.